Shalom, hi everybody. So, welcome to Roots Farm. Today I was thinking to take you on a little stroll in the forest and to get some pine needles. Pine needles are best to be picked in the spring, early summer, when the pine trees make the new little buds. They are super healthy. They have a lot of nutrition, but I'll get back to you on that. So I'm going to show you where we're going. So I'm now leaving the farm and I'm going into the woods. So basically, it's a beautiful summer's day. Well, almost summer. Norway is a little bit colder than most places in Europe. I hear you guys have heat waves all over the place. That's more than I can say about Norway. But it is still very beautiful, and today it's actually not that cold. So, in the forest we have a lot of trees, a lot of different pine trees also. And you have to be careful to pick from the right kind of pine trees. Now, this baby here, this is the first one. This is a good one, it's edible. These are the babies we're looking for. Now remember, when you pick these, you're actually pruning the tree. So this one will not make the branch longer. So you should always go for the bottom branches, the ones hanging down or under the tree, because that is basically the best thing. Now, you need a lot of these to make stuff. What I like to do with these babies here are to make syrup of them. You have 1 part sugar, 2 parts water, 3 parts pine, and you can add juniper berries if you want to. Now, let's see, where shall we go? Let's go down here. So, it's basically, it's kind of like hard to do with one hand though, since I'm filming. But I'm just going to give you the idea. So, basically the spruce of the pine trees, they're super rich in C vitamins and A vitamins. They also contain potassium, magnesium, chlorophyll. It basically helps you grow tissue. This is like, before I go into what they contain, I just need to tell you, like in Norway, in the colder climates, they would keep these spruces for the winter, because it helps to combat whatever you're facing in the cold time of year. In America, it has been used as nutrition by the Indians for a long time. But in Greece, Hippocrates said that it was like medicine and for food. He would actually recommend to make teas of it as a healing thing, or even to make baths. So basically, there's a pine tree. I like the smaller ones, because the bigger ones, if they get too big, it's really not as healthy, not as nutritional, and the taste isn't that good. You can actually chew these, they say, if you have like toothaches or stuff, or if your gums are not that good. Yeah. Now this is a perfect example. Let me see. This one is perfect. But I like to kind of like not fight for my things. I like to just stroll around and just enjoy my time. Like I said, with 2 hands, everything is easier. Okay, this one compared to this one, The bigger one is like what I would say not optimal, but it's still usable. So, where were we? Yeah, basically these babies are so awesome. If you have cravings, it will help. It also helps the blood to make the oxygen go into your system better. It is very good, you know, to fight free radicals. It's very good for the blood sugar. For wound healing, talking about wound healing, I just cut myself here yesterday. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is basically something these pine needles will be good for. Another thing about walking in the forest, when I clear the tracks, I kind of like keep the trees that I think are kind of cool. So this is not like any ordinary forest, but hey, still fun. So again, taking the bottom of the trees, not taking too much of each tree. People do the mistake that they harvest everything they see on a tree, but like I said, that is actually pruning the trees, and you don't want to prune them too much. And it's actually a wonderful excuse to go strolling in the forest. Okay, let me turn the camera here. Okay, so I'm going to put the camera down for a minute so I have both my hands free. So basically you can have these spruces in your salads, in your soups. You can make tea of them. It's very good to freeze them, to have them in the freezer. You can actually dry them. So there's like no excuse for things for not picking these. You can make, like I said, syrups of it, use it in the food. Yeah. I love these babies. And they taste delicious. So yummy. Kids love them too. So fresh. When you eat them, you can actually feel the nutrition in them. They're so yummy. Okay, so let me find the next tree. So when I bought this farm 7 years ago, there were no paths here. I kind of like opened up the pathways so we can actually walk here. As you see, there is a fence here. In the summer, I have horses grazing here, which is awesome. Come on, babies. Like I said, it's much more efficient when you're using both hands, but yeah. Okay. So, oh, by the way, look at these. These are called gjøksyre in Norwegian. They come in early spring and they grow all over the place. They're also super nutritious. Now the kids in the old days in Norway, they were trained, me too, to eat those in the spring. Because, you know, remember in the old days you couldn't just go to the supermarket. And when spring came, you would basically find nutrition in the... Oh my gosh, this is so good. So you can actually go outside in the forest and you can find like so nutritious food. Like just sitting here, I can see so many other things that are also good. The birch, it's now it's a little bit too late, but in the spring when the tree sap starts to rise, you can take a branch and cut off and attach a bottle to it, or you can make a hole in the stem and you can attract the nutrition, the tree blood, the sap, and you can drink it, and it's so full of nutrition, right, James? Yep, yep, yep. And also the leaves of the birches are very good to pick in the spring because they are healthy for a lot of stuff. I'm not going to go into the birches right now. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm walking in a food banquet here. Yummy, yummy. So, let us find some more pines. The thing about a forest is that very often when there's wind, the branches and stuff will come off the trees. So I always kind of like to keep my pathway clear. So you can basically just stay in one place if you find a good place and just take a little bit of the trees here and there. Now this will be a good place to do that. Like I said, these are maybe a little bit far gone, but they're still beautiful. They're not too far gone, so I'm going to go with these. Now the reason I'm going to pick this tree, even though I'm not just picking the bottom parts, I'm going to pick the whole one, because this tree is going down. Anyway, I do not want to have too many pine trees in the forest, because they take a lot of the nutrition and the sunlight, and they make the ground, the pH of the ground, a little bit too sour. So it's not good for other things that want to grow, especially not the things I want to grow. So I have the luxury of doing this whole tree because it's my tree, my forest. But if you're anywhere else, be considerate, you know, don't take too much. Now this is not too bad. So anyway, you get the idea basically. The Greeks, they would make wine with the resin of the pine trees. Again, very beneficial. I don't actually have anything bad to say about pine trees. The only thing bad I would have to say would, like I said, if you have like the wrong kind of pine trees, it can actually be poisonous. But those pine trees are very rare, and they're usually not the normal pine trees. But if you go to a park or something, be careful. But in the Norwegian woods, this is perfect. I can't help seeing all this stuff. These are lilies. These are really poisonous to eat, but they have beautiful white flowers that smell just wonderful. And all these other small green ones are blueberries. Blueberries are good, but after you pick the blueberries, you can actually pick the leaves and dry them. Also a good herb remedy. Oh. Oh, everybody loves this one in Norway. Hvitveis. Very good, very good. And again, you know, I'm gonna be full just eating this stuff by the time I get home. Okay, so basically, that's it. Okay, so here I'm gonna build a shelter. I got the logs ready. It's gonna be awesome. I have the goppa hook behind there. We could go and check it out, but let me just go and hunt for another pine tree. So Norwegian woods are not that bad. I'm telling you, the air is so fresh. It's so beautiful. Yeah, there you see a little bit of the shelter. It's, and I also have a lovo, like a teepee, set up there. So I am going to leave you guys and girls right now, as I'm going to pick more of these babies. Just be careful not to eat them when they're too big, because then they don't have as nutritionist value, and they're not that tasty either when they get bigger. So that's it for now. Like I said, if you don't know what to do with them immediately, you just find good spruces, just pick them and put them in the freezer or dry them, and keep some fresh while you go and Google it. It is so awesome. Why go to the pharmacy when you can make your own medicine cabinet? I really believe that God made the nature in a way that we can have beneficial stuff growing. So it is a beautiful day, and I really just want to let you go with this beautiful little picture. Okay guys, bye-bye. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them in the comments. Bye.